Okay, welcome everyone, and we are doing the 2021-2022 NFL starting quarterback tier list. I'm here with CLD, better known as Chicken Little Dick, and he'll be assisting me. So the best thing to start out with here, Colin, I think, is to pick a quarterback that is the most average, like belongs in C, and then we can judge like everyone off of that person. He's like the counterpoint. I have two in mind. Okay. All right. You get one or two in mind, and then we'll see if we're meeting in the middle on this.
All right, middle of the line, I have like maybe Wency and Derek Carr.
Mine was Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield.
So
let's go.
I think Baker Mayfield might have been middle of the line at the start of the year. Now he turned into
he hurt his shoulder labrum or whatever. So I don't know if is that fair. Is it fair to?
I mean, you got people leaving because of him. So
yeah, but he also spends more time making commercials. Anyway, I think we can both agree on Derek Carr. So yes. I think the question is better than Derek Carr, worse than Derek Carr, by how much?
Okay, so Derek Carr's straight into C.
Right. Yeah, he's in C. Okay. C is the middle.
Sure.
And I guess it also is probably pertinent to say that there's an SAB tier, which is obviously like above average, great, the best, C being average, D being below average, D a shit being like not good and shouldn't be starting, an absolute dumpster shit show should retire right the fuck now, and he is, so it's good. Okay, so the first, I don't remember his middle name, otherwise I would have given the whole middle name treatment, but old Thomas Brady. The question is, does he belong in S or A tier? And I guess that would basically depend on your and once again, this should be specifically about this season, probably, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you could take a couple years into effect, but I don't think it's really fair for a 40-some-year-old Tom Brady to be evaluated on what he was doing when he was like 28 or something.
But he's still doing that.
That's he's still got over 40 touchdowns. So he's probably in the S tier, but
he shouldn't be.
He's surrounded with so much talent.
Yes.
But even when like those lull years in New England, when he just had like Julian Edelman running out there, he was still getting it done somehow. But that last season in New England, I think it didn't look as good, and his limited mobility is definitely an issue. But because he's Tom Brady, he was able to get them to draft who is now all-pro offensive lineman, one of the best passing offensive linemen in the league. What's his name? Wirfs? I think it's Wirfs.
I'm not big on. I don't know linemen very well.
Oh, that's what I'm coming here for. I believe his name is Wirfs. He was like, if I'm coming here, you have to get this, 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 and this. They drafted him in the first round. He's one of the best offensive linemen in football now, so good for him.
Yes.
Do we have any thoughts on whether or not he should be above or below S rank? The only thing that's his knock is...
I mean, you keep him there. You keep him there.
I think the two things that are knocks would be the limited mobility and the absolutely insane amount of talent he has around him in pretty much every facet of the game.
Yes.
It's just, but then of course we see Chris Godwin. Is he out for the year? Chris Godwin, I think he is, right?
Yeah, he tore everything. Yeah.
Antonio Brown is at home making TikToks or whatever the fuck he's doing now.
He is not playing football ever again.
Never say never. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Especially
since the beaters are like, all right.
But he's like, well, I mean, the big knock against Antonio is that he's now quit on like 5 teams, so the amount of teams he can go to is slowly dwindling down. But he's still talented, and he's obviously still very good. He's just got some mental things he needs to get figured out. Although he has some justifications for why he was angry. And, I mean, so basically what he was saying is that Tom was trying to force it to Gronk to get him his incentives and not to him, and that pissed him off, I guess. But, like, then you look at the game, and he had, like, 8 targets in the third quarter, so it kind of sounds like he was trying to get it to you.
He was also very close to his incentive, so I understand why that would be an issue, but
at this
had
point,
like a whole other game, didn't he?
At this point, if Antonio Brown is like hurting for money, I think that's due to the fact that he's not spending it correctly or doesn't have a financial advisor, not to the fact that he's not getting his incentives. It would have been an additional $1 million, which, maybe he could buy another car or something. Anyway, this has kind of gone off track in that regard, but Joe Burrow, is he an A or a B?
That man leveled up this year.
I mean, we always expected him to be really good, right? So, but once again,
I don't think
an absolutely insane amount of talent. That offensive line was a problem a year ago. I don't know what they did to improve that.
I don't know if you can put him in an A just yet.
This would be a perfect between situation. Although,
I mean, the Bears beat him this year.
When we picked him for top 10 quarterbacks, he was like in our top 5 or 10, right? Joe Burrow?
Oh God!
He was right there.
Now when you look at it, I placed him in B, and he's just sitting right above Derek Carr. I don't know if you can let that happen.
He's better. Like,
okay.
And I think the reason you put him in A is because Dak Prescott has to be in B.
Yeah.
And he's and he's better than Dak Prescott.
Oh my God, I hate Dak Prescott.
I didn't watch the game yesterday, but he did not look good according to some.
No. Oh, no.
He's got the mobility. I feel like he's like one of the problems and one of the things that we can probably grade these quarterbacks on, especially like Derek Carr, right, is there's just a total lack of consistency. Yes, like he's either going to like throw 500 yards and scorch you or do absolutely nothing.
The problem is he has all the talent around him and arguably one of the best offensive lines in football. And he's a shit some of the times.
I honestly think, and once again this is kind of tangential, but I think that it's time to move on from Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, yes, 100%. Saquon too. Both gone.
You gotta get Tony Pollard. You gotta get Tony Pollard in there.
Pollard was averaging like fucking 6 yards a carry for like half the season.
Yeah, but coaches are really stupid, and they just like the same thing with like the Kenyon Drakes when he was under the butthole in Miami, and Chase Edmonds in Arizona. It's just like these guys can play, just give them the ball. Yep. I don't care, just give them the ball.
I mean, I don't think Pollard will be an every down back, but that man can play.
Pettis, I gotta keep it a buck. Colin won both of our fantasy leagues, but he's still cheap.
Boo.
You know what I mean? This man out here, should I buy 16 gigabyte RAM or 32? I don't know if I can spare the $20.
Oh, I am broke as fuck right now. It's great.
Why is anyone listening to me, Pettis? Ain't nobody knowing. I don't know. All right. Okay, so we said Dak Prescott was B, right?
Yeah, he's a B.
I'll give him credit, though. Was there any fanfare when Dak Prescott came into the NFL? I think it was like a second, third-round pick. It was in Mississippi State.
Not really. But, like, it just kills me because he has all that talent around him. Like, way more talent. Derek Carr out here throwing to Hunter Renfrow all year. Zay Jones.
Okay, first of all, you sleeping on Hunter Renfrow. Well, you're not really.
I love Hunter Renfrow, but
you know what I don't love?
A number one receiver.
You know when you're in trouble? This is how you know you're in trouble. When your hairline is weaker than mine. Hunter Renfrow got some bad hair, bro. That shit ain't got it together.
Nope.
And Darren Waller was hurt most of the year. But the Raiders still made it to the playoffs. And then they got bounced. They already got bounced, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Was that the Bengals? Who'd they play, the Bengals?
Yep. That controversial call that I don't think was that controversial, but whatever.
I mean, I don't know. In the end, I think that there are a lot of bad calls in a lot of games. You either overcome it or you don't.
But I mean, like the ball was already in the air when the whistle was blown, and Tyler Boyd there was nobody even around him that could have stopped that play.
I don't know, man. I've never been on a NFL football field at full speed, and I don't know how they're trained to react to whistles. Some people don't know, whistles at all.
Some people don't stop. Yeah, they don't stop at all.
So.
All right, Fitzy / Heineke.
Pettis, I'm gonna need you to expound upon Raiders' biggest winners of this season. I don't really know, because this is gonna get complicated. Because it's like we have a Tyrod Taylor here, but what about Davis Mills? Davis? That's true. Pettis makes a good point, but Derek Carr still a C. And
yes,
the only thing I could say about Derek Carr, getting off on a tangent here, is he needs to get like Bryan Edwards involved more. There's too much talent there not to get him the ball.
That man's hair. Can we talk about that man's hair too right now? I don't know what the hell.
I don't know. That man looked like he'd be going to some emo concerts and just jamming out. I don't know.
He wearing the mascaras.
Okay. Also, can we talk about? Does anybody know what the background to his wrist tattoo is? I was pretty sure that's like I think it's an East India Trading Company mark, like from Pirates of the Caribbean, or like history, of course. But so is it just because he's like Raiders, Pirates? I don't know what this man be on, honestly. But you know what? I wish I had one person in my life that believed in me as much as Derek Carr's brother David does, because he just goes on ESPN every day and is like, he should be the MVP. And it might be because his brain scrambled because he has the record for most sacks in a season, but.
I will also say that whoever has never seen it, go watch Derek Carr's first encounter with Antonio Brown at his house.
Yeah, that was the most awkward thing. Wow, you're Antonio Brown.
Hey man, how are you? Wow.
He like acted like someone came up to him 3 minutes before. I was like, yeah, so Antonio's coming over. And he's like, man, I didn't even get I don't have no hors d'oeuvres for this man.
Well, how are you? Oh my god.
Antonio Brown, like, I don't think we can sleep on this. He did not play a game with the Raiders, right? Not one single game.
No, he did not. It was like a week later, and then he was also doing jumping jacks when he found out he was released out by his pool.
I remember that. I think he was yelling, "I'm free." Like,
yes.
You remember that guy from Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? He's in like the stockade and he goes, I'm free, and then he falls into like another cage. That's exactly what happened to Antonio Brown. It's just from one cage to another.
Yikes.
Okay, Pettis,
all right, we are sidetracked as
Pettis, you want to know why I know David Mills isn't going to be a good quarterback? Because I keep on thinking his first name is Davis. All right? Yeah. I don't know who the fuck that guy is half the time. Anyway.
I thought it was Davis Mills too.
So we're going to just pretend that this is a beardless man named Taylor Heineke.
I agree with that.
Is it D or C?
I think he tried his little heart out this year for what he had.
So does he get a +1 for heart? I think he's probably a D, right?
Dude, yes, realistically, but he gets a C for heart. That dude, at the end of the year, my God, did he look so just done. Like, every play, he just looked like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Let's chat about talent around him. And Antonio Gibson is a W, but was hurt all year. Scary Terry seems to be a W, but he seems like he's the kind of player, because they don't have a lot of external talent or like peripheral talent, that he can kind of like get lost. Mostly because he can get double teamed or he can get taken out of game in that respect. So I think that he gets, it doesn't change his positioning. He's still in reverse cowgirl in D. But you got to give Taylor Heineke some credit, at least. And, of course, his favorite quarterback, Brett Favre.
He was not afraid to throw the ball either. He threw the ball.
Favorite quarterback is Brett Favre. I mean, like, you got guys on here like David Mills. I don't know what the fuck his name is. David Mills, who's like getting like 170 yards passing a game, and like 100 of it is to Brandon Cooks. And like some people like Jalen Hurts, who seem generally fearful of passing, or even like Justin Fields. But he's elusive. But you got to give Taylor Heineke credit. He just let it rip, man.
He did.
And that's
the C for heart.
Yeah, but a D for. We got to take that heart and bring it back down to reality. Oop, there goes gravity, face ass. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm not even going to have a conversation about Patrick Mahomes. So, it's
rough start to the year, but brought shit back.
So I don't know. I would love to see him get traded. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tua is definitely afraid of throwing any pass over exactly 6 yards. If it goes over 6 yards, his arm just goes. He just gets wobbly.
I think he's underrated, though. I think he's underrated.
Okay, we're gonna have a discussion about Tua tugging my wiener, I guess. I don't know, man. I mean, Pettis got that Alabama bias and can't even stand up for the man. The man is fodder. Anyway,
they found ways to win. That's all it is.
Well, you know what? The real loser in that Miami, Brian Flores. That man, he seems like a nice guy. He looks like he probably goes to work. He's a motivator. By goes to work, I mean he's always there, close the shop. And he got fucked over because he thinks Tua sucks, which like 90% of people think Tua sucks. But let's actually get back to. I said I was going to say anything about Patrick Mahomes, but I guess that's the whole reason why we're here. But he has the combination of ability, but also all the talent around him, which is absolutely insane. And then not only that, but then he has probably one of the best offensive-minded coaches in the league. outside of maybe like a Sean McVay. I don't know. Is Sean McVay more hype, or is he? And Shanahan, but Shanahan's a different kind of coach. He's all about the running game, right?
Yeah, I think McVay's a little overhyped.
If you want to become, and Pettis, I'm gonna get to that comment in a second because we're gonna get back to that. But you know, if you really want to be a head coach in the league, basically all you had to do is be an assistant coach in like that big Shanahan system. You got, I think it was McVay, Matt LaFleur. My brain's going stupid, and then obviously his son. I think they're all in that group. So it's kind of like if you had the West Coast offense from San Francisco. Who created that? Bill Walsh? Bill Walsh. Walsh? I said it was Walsh. Doesn't matter.
We had to look that up not too long ago.
Yeah, that was him. But yeah, imagine being Tua Tagovailoa and fucking Brian Flores coming up to you and being like, "Yeah, we should have gotten Mac Jones." Tua, you understand that is a slow white boy, man. Like, come on, man. Although Jalen Waddle will be leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got to make Tua look good because he's not really doing a great job doing it. And actually, low-key, Miami's got some ballers on that team. Like, I feel like Devontae Parker's always slept on, but he was hurt this year. So, and then Preston Williams has had good years.
I think Gaskin is officially a shit now, though. I think he's a shit.
I don't know. I think it's, once again, just a problem of touches and stuff. I don't know. But
I don't know. That man either looked okay or just a shit. There was really not any great games I saw from Gaskin, period, this year.
Pettis, list some of the coaching tree. Are we talking like Sarkisian? And who's the one that's with the Patriots offensive coordinator? Is that Is it Josh McDaniel? I don't.
Fucking Bill Belichick's son standing on the sideline with his fucking mullet, licking his lips, all weird.
All right, this is what I really need from Pettis. I need you to make your own tier list in the chat of the Bill Belichick's son mullet compared to your friend group's mullets that they had either currently or now, and I need you to make a tier list. Obviously, you're on top. We all come to the fucking. We're good with that. I don't know if the woman made you chop it off yet, but that's gonna be your side homework next to giving me some Saban coaches. But anyway, we're really wilding at this point. So David Mills and Tyrod.
Okay.
I've heard it both ways.
Tyrod last year finally gets his chance. Doctor stabs him in his fucking kidney or lung, whatever the hell it was, and knocks him out for the rest of the year. Herbert comes out. But I felt bad. And then my man's like, all right, let's try again. Dumpster shit show. There's dumpster shit show.
Okay. Once again, let's talk about talent though, and let's talk about what happened with Burkhead at the end of the year. Man started balling out for literally no reason. Like David Johnson out here looking at him with his. It's like the meme from Arthur with the fist. He's like, why can't I one time? Pettis, you working, but you ain't working that hard. Talking to me about Mac Jones. So I would have put Tyrod Taylor in C, but I put him in D because he's only got one lung that's functioning. No.
This year he was a dumpster shit show. I mean, it was bad.
I think I started him against you and won, even though he scored 5 points or something. That is some weak sauce.
That's not good.
I would say that David, I think his name is David, is better than Tyrod Taylor. But
I think you can just put the Texans in D.
Yeah, man. Brandon Cook's out here like, what did I do, man? I shouldn't have signed this contract. I was better off playing with like the L.A. and just getting hurt all the time, or getting my head taken off in New Orleans or whatever. How old is Brandon Cooks? Is he 30? Seems like he's been around forever.
Well, his brain's like 50 to 60 at this point, because that man has had 300 concussions.
Dude, I feel that. My brain not be so good either. Okay. So I truly believe with a healthy Christian McCaffrey, Sam Darnold is a C. Okay, had good games at the beginning of the season, but then he had injuries and whatever, and then he's just.
Are we grading just Darnold here? Or are we grading the whole 3 quarterback thing they were doing?
Are we giving? Okay, hold on. Colin, say something real quick. Okay, I can hear you now. Are we giving the Kiffin's son? We're giving that credit to Saban. His dad was a coach in the NFL for many, many years. He was a defensive coach, though. Most notably, probably with the Buccaneers. Anyway.
So you already placed Darnold in D.
Right. So I told you he's a C if he's got Christian McCaffrey fully healthy, but they're looking to trade him. But he's probably... There's a really weird subreddit on Reddit that really loves Sam Darnold. That I subscribe to, I guess.
We still need to acknowledge the fact that Cam Newton started games here.
Yeah, but who are we missing here? Who took over for
PJ Walker?
No, there's another one. Who's the other one? After Sam Darnold went down,
there was another one?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I thought it was just PJ Walker.
No, because PJ Walker got super limited. He was like the third. I mean, this other person like started half the year. Can I look in like fantasy football here? Or is that
I don't know if you're right.
Let's see. Panthers roster. I'm pretty sure there was, man. Who was Philip Walker? Philip McCracken. Position. I don't know how they're doing this, but apparently... Okay. Yeah, all right. This is fine. Quarterbacks. I don't know what this is. PJ Walker, Jordan Ta'amau, Cam Newton, James Morgan, Josh Love, Sam Darnold, Matt Barkley. Yeah, I guess I was just tripping. I thought there was someone else that started some games.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But I think he's worse than Derek Carr. I think that's why he's in D.
Yes.
But
if Cam Newton was on this list anywhere, dumpster shit show.
I started that, man, in several games. DJ Moore is a GOAT, and I don't know what happened to him like the end of the season. He just kind of...
Robbie Anderson was even more of a ghost, and he was solid last year.
He's really skinny, and he freaks me out. His look on his face makes me think he's going to rape me. No offense. No offense, man. It's just scary. And Christian McCaffrey, I mean, they got a lot of talent, but I feel he could level up and be C territory if he tries his little heart out. If he takes his vitamins, prays every night, he can be a C. Maybe if he prays a little bit harder, he can still be a C. Okay. Oh.
If there's an area between C and D, this is where Jared Goff actually belongs.
I had him in a shit.
Oh, no.
I think Jared Goff, the one thing he does is prove how good Sean McVay's system is, and how good Todd Gurley was before. I can't believe no one gave him a job, not even a chance this year. Like, Le'Veon's on like 4 different teams, but Todd Gurley can't get one try?
Adrian Peterson signed as well. So.
Adrian Peterson's saying he still wants to play. It's wild.
Jared Goff actually had 0 people around him this year.
Amon-Ra St. Brown broke out at the end of the year, man.
Yeah, at the end of the year.
And also they had some injury issues. Quintez Cephas getting hurt out there.
Yep.
T.J. Hawkinson got hurt.
Then Williams went down.
Yeah, but then they found that other third running back who was actually like fine, and it's like, what is going on, man? But I think
I'm fine with putting him in D.
He's definitely nowhere near as good as Derek Carr. And okay, question: if you could like start on the same team with the same assets, those 4 quarterbacks, which one would you choose?
Out of Heineke, Mills, Darnold, and Goff?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a completely random crash.
Probably Heineke or Mills. I don't like Darnold.
I would probably pick Darnold, I think. As long as he got those ghosts out of his head, I think.
Yeah, that motherfucker threw 5 interceptions.
I mean, nobody's saying he's good. I'm saying I would pick him. I guess is it 4 or 5 quarterback? I don't know. Actually, keeping it 100, I'd have Ryan Fitzpatrick because you know that man's given 100% on every play.
Yeah, you just can't name him the starter. Once you name him the starter,
Yeah.
He's a shit.
You get Sam Darnold to start, but then like you have someone before the game hit him in the knee with a tire iron, and then you're like, "There's Ryan Fitzpatrick and all of his bearded glory."
You will get 5 touchdowns, 400 yards passing, and like a perfect pass.
And he would have had like 6 concussions in the same game, but he like rebounds, baby. He's all about it. He's a gamer. Anyway, so I think we've exhausted that. Aaron Rodgers is S tier.
I think he's an A because he's a fucking idiot about his vaccination shit. I think that bumps him down a tier.
This man makes it excellent. He is an asshole. Yeah, he's actually an asshole, so that drops him. Although, like, I feel like everybody thought he was a consensus MVP, and obviously I'm a Packers fan, but I don't know how you look at his stats and Tom Brady's and just say, yeah, he's definitely it. Like, Tom Brady's are actually just better. I think Aaron missed a game and then played a half, so...
Yep.
But I guess they're, instead of counting stats, they're looking more at efficiency. It's like the exact opposite of how like Heisman works, where it's like, yeah, let's put up 70 and those stats matter just as much.
All right. I think we're at the first D and below, like the first below D coming in here.
Is it fair?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Zack Wilson's definitely a shit. But also, like, he's out here throwing to Baxton Barrios.
Yeah.
And
he looked better in like the last 2 games of the
Crowder.
year. But
I don't know if he looked better. Who did they beat that was super surprising at the end of the season? And it was like you wanted to throw up because they beat them.
They actually almost beat the fucking Buccaneers in the last game. It's very close.
Oh yeah, and then
they needed like 1 more yard and failed, and then Ricky got 16 more points on that last drive from Brady.
Yeah, Brady was throwing to some guy's like uncle.
You ain't ever heard of because Antonio Brown in the locker room actually taking Ubers
with his like cowboy boots on. Somebody needs to get with this man about his whole get up. The Jets beat the Jaguars.
Ooh, fire!
They beat the Bengals earlier in the season too.
So did the Bears.
Yikes.
Yes.
Yikes, bud.
Yeah, he's a shit.
His mom is also a little bit extra.
I think Russ falls into B tier. Something happened to him this year. I don't know what it was.
Pettis, you know I was trolling, man. Pettis really didn't like me not putting Rodgers in S tier. But did you hear our argument? He's just a shit person. Okay, you want a real good laugh? His girlfriend or fiance, she was his fiance in literally like 2 weeks. She actually eats dirt. She eats clay. She eats clay and says it's really good for your body. She's actually eating dirt.
I was actually just sent an article today that Aaron Rodgers and Shailene Woodley are on rocky terms. He can be too controlling and jealous.
So now we know what happened with, what's her name, Olivia Munn. See, that's the thing, man. Dudes get these girls, they get too controlling, right? And then, like, they become too codependent on them. And then Olivia Munn, they break up, and then she looks like the crazy one. You know?
You got Danica Patrick face ass.
And Danica Patrick, same thing. She was heartbroken. She's already moved on, too. She's had, like, 6 boyfriends since. I don't know. Maybe it's just because she's, like, a symbol. But, like, I didn't know NASCAR drivers had to stay in such great shape, man. You know? I could... Colin, do you think you could ever be a NASCAR driver? I could never be a NASCAR driver.
Nope. Would never want to be. So.
Here's the thing. I got a little girl bladder. No offense to the females. But, like, very small bladder. And I know you pee in the suit, but, like, I'd fill up the suit in, like, 20 minutes. And they'd be like, I got to make a pit stop. And they just dump this shit on the side. Anyway, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was, like...
He leveled down this year.
Yeah, you want to put him in A because I believe in him.
I got him in B.
Yeah.
I think he played as a C this year.
I don't go. Their defense was like historically terrible though, like really bad. It has been pretty bad since they lost all the pieces. But he's definitely has pretty much always been a better thrower, I think, than Dak.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing about Russell Wilson is he is the person that is least afraid. The least afraid to be just throwing throwing it up to his guys.
Wherever.
Just throw it up. And he's got the talent to do it, so... But what is going to happen with this backfield, man? Because Rashard Penny be looking real good, and Chris Carson was always supposed to be that guy, but he ain't that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that man's ever going to fully come back.
Are we talking about Russell Wilson or Chris Carson?
Chris Carson.
Okay. I think we agree we want to put him higher, but he just didn't have a very good year. Daniel Jones is definitely a shit.
I think arguably dumpster shit show, but there's just so little on that team. Yeah, I don't know if you can put it there, to be fair.
Yeah, Kenny Galladay's got to get out, man. I feel like they have a lot of receivers who are good, but they're not necessarily good at everything. You know? They got like a downfield threat, they got a possession guy, and they just cannot put it together. And the terrible offensive line, Saquon doing literally nothing unless, of course, he's playing me in fantasy, of course. He actually just, in our second league, just killed my team. Because I had to play him because he's Saquon, which I could have played the next guy who would have been better, but it just plunged my fucking team. It was just awful. And
you're welcome.
He's actually worse. Like, I traded Colin DeAndre Hopkins, and not having DeAndre Hopkins would have been better than playing Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's a shit. I think Kirk Cousins is a B.
I think you put him in a B as well. Even though when he plays a team that's above 500, he's like a fucking D.
Yeah, he sure is, isn't he? But that man puts up stats. And has all kinds of, like, he's probably got top 5 weapons in the league.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
So, and J Jeff be popping off. Did not have Adam Thielen for a minute this year, but you know he's still. I dislike him quite a bit. He's a bit of a prick. I do not like that. But he did play up. Like Dak has the, you know, he moved down a little bit. I think Russell moved down. Kirk moved up a little bit. Because he's got, like, as you alluded to, that Derek Carr inconsistency, but yet he played pretty good this year, pretty well. I think Josh Allen's an A.
Yeah, I think he's teetering between that and an S right now, but
he's definitely
he had
not
some
on
games
the
where...
tier of. I mean, I feel like we expected the Bills to be just an unstoppable force.
They had some really bad games.
Yeah, which was weird. Although, I mean, he's got Knox, he's got Diggs. Running game is pretty much just an L.
Singletary's been coming out pretty strong, though.
Yeah, but when they have to, like, decide between him and Zach Moss, it's just like, eh.
Dude, they should have put Zach Moss in the doghouse.
I think he went on IR or something. I traded him really early in the season because we didn't know what we were going to get out of him. By we, I mean fantasy community. Yeah. But he's mobile, he's strong, he got that big old arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he probably has, like, mediocre talent around him, but still makes out of it. Really was pissed off that Isaiah McKenzie had one good game, and then he was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be my cheap DFS option," and then he never did anything ever again.
Yeah, Gabe Davis became kind of the more reliable.
Oh, are you on
DFS?
Your buddies now? It's not Gabriel, it's Gabe.
Yeah.
He's got a gaping asshole.
Weird.
Pettis is right. If they had a better running game, see the running game is just an L. So let's see, like. Let's say Josh Allen has Kirk Cousins' offense. He's like infinitely better.
S tier.
Yeah, he's infinitely better. Although, imagine if they had Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, and Adam Thielen. That'd be nuts. But yeah, give him a Dalvin Cook, and things are looking better. Maybe they draft Dalvin Cook's brother. Who doesn't look that all awe-inspiring to me, but I am not a college football viewer, so. Justin Herbert, I think he's probably on the same tier. Yeah, it's kind of the young guns there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of another weird offense, though, because they have a lot of talent, but sometimes it
They
doesn't
balled
really
out,
like it comes like together.
Every now and again, yeah, but I think their defense was not very good this year either.
No, it was not. If you remember, I started their defense against Houston. It's the reason why I lost to you in fantasy.
Yep. Yeah, that was real. That was the worst thing.
How this literally could only happen to one person. That person just happens to be me.
Davis/David Mills came out and balled out.
Oh, is he leveling up? Does he have to go up?
Maybe.
No. I did do, oddly, a second half DFS, which I didn't even know was a thing. I think it was just too late or something, or I didn't look what I was doing, and it was $5, and I doubled. I almost had it was that game where the Chargers just kept on coming back on fourth downs and getting first downs, and if they would have just died, I would have made $20, but they just wouldn't die. I think we could say with absolute certainty that Tannehill is a C.
He's just the biggest question mark. Does he really do anything?
I don't think he is a question mark. I think he is a good play-action passer because he has Derrick Henry. Okay.
I feel like he's just there. That's my definition of Tannehill. He's just there.
They need a guy who can kind of stretch the field a little bit and make some decent passes. And I hope for the hope of hope's sake, if you ever watched Julio tape or watched Julio when he was with Atlanta, unquestionably one of the best wide receivers probably of our generation, and he just looks so bad this year, and I think it was just the nagging injuries, but I really hope he bounces back. But he's going to get another year older, which is unfortunate. But I know I was looking at Pettis' team in fantasy early on in the year, and it looked like it was going to be nuts. And then the Julio Jones injury and the McCaffrey injury, and then I started playing Julio Jones. He started getting me 0 points, and it just made me really sad. Imagine Josh Allen on Tennessee. Yeah. That's another full, just like a stacked team. Another decent offensive line, too. Decent to good. I know it's not bad. That much I can tell you. All right, so I think Tua is a C.
I think he falls into that same category. I agree with that. I think he found ways to win, and he didn't lose the games.
Dolphins had a pretty good defense too.
At the end of the year, yes, they came together very strong.
They have Xavier Howard. They have some really good pieces. I don't know, man. It's just he's basically a young version of Ben Roethlisberger, though. He doesn't really stretch the field. He has more mobility, but it's just these short passes, and it's just annoying to watch. Just very, very annoying to watch. I don't know what to make of him. I think there needs to probably be some more time and tape on that, but Waddle is leveling up. I think he's got pieces around him. He could be pretty decent.
Yeah.
We'll
I
find
agree
out.
with that.
So Tayson Hill isn't really a quarterback. By really any stretch of the imagination. It really impresses me how he can underthrow a ball by 10 yards and it actually works because it's single coverage. So overthrow it and the wide receiver will be seeing it and he'll be holy shit, and then he has to come back, but the defender can't see the ball because he's trying to just run for his life. And then Jameis Winston do be Jameis Winston. Beat the Packers this year.
Great week 1 or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. And then
I think part of the problem is that Aaron Rodgers didn't pick up a football for 4 months or whatever. But yeah,
I've got all of them in D.
I couldn't imagine a more different quarterback duo here, right? You're not exactly seeing Jameis Winston crab walking around. He's not running around, man. He do be stealing ketchup from Burger King though. And then it's
crab legs from
and once again, I believe that Taysom Hill is a Mormon. So you have it's kind of like this weird Florida Gators thing, right? When you had the Aaron Hernandez and Tim Tebow and Riley Cooper, and wasn't Pouncey there too? You have like
Cooper.
You have all these really awful individuals, and then you got like the person who's supposed to be so pious. Although he cut my ass off at the airport, fucking dick.
Tim Tebow.
But yeah, Taysom Hill's like a Mormon dude. He's a storming Mormon, and Jameis Winston out here getting off or raping women and shit. And...
Remember when Alvin Kamara could have had like 7 touchdowns, but Sean Payton's like, oh, "I love you, Taysom.
Yeah,
I love you so much. Here, go get one."
Another video idea I wanted to have kind of a multi-talking piece about, and this kind of the side, is the question would be, does both Pounceys were there? Jesus. Does being a terrible person invalidate the art you make or the things you do, right?
Depends how terrible of a person you are.
So it depends on how bad you are? That's a discussion for another. Let's not have that discussion now. But
it's like Aaron Rodgers an asshole.
Yeah, and it almost got him in the 8th here. You know? Mm-hmm. Okay, Kyler Murray. I think
we hate him.
I have never disliked the way someone runs as much as I hate the way this man runs. I don't understand. Like he's taller than me, right? But I don't run like that. I don't like shuffle my feet like a fucking.
I don't think he's taller than you. Isn't he 5? He's like 5'8".
There's no way he's a hobbit. There's no.
That man is a hobbit.
Oh, Lord. How tall is Kyler?
He's 5'10". Okay, so I'm the same.
He's
height.
a little bit taller than me. Pettis, don't say shit about my height just because y'all be drinking that water and making you extra tall and shit. He just it's like he like if Mrs. Pac-Man had legs, that's how she'd walk. It's just fucking stupid.
I got him in B.
Yeah, me too. He's got a big arm. He's got great pieces around him. I think he can level up, but I feel like there's just some bad decision making and shit at times.
For sure.
And maybe a little bit too much reliance on scrambling. Just, gotta get that shit. Also, another sandbag around his ankles. Yeah, he does run like he's in high heels. Pettis be all over this shit. He'd be working, but he also be putting in work. What was I gonna say? Shit. I got distracted. Oh, Cliff Kingsbury. Huge. I think that he actually just inhibits that team. And the biggest issue is he doesn't wear socks. That's just a plain fact. You gotta wear socks when you're wearing dress shoes, man. You can't not be wearing socks, bro. Absolutely deplorable. Jalen Hurts is worse Kyler Murray, so
I borderline want to put Hurts in D. Like
they made the playoffs, man. Was
it him?
It wasn't not him. Like look at all these teams down here. All these teams down here didn't make the playoffs. These teams did, other than this one.
They had an underrated defense, and their running game leveled up once they stopped giving Miles Sanders the ball 3 times a game through like the first 4 weeks.
They ran a lot, and their running game was good. But I don't think that takes away from Jalen Hurts being okay. Not only that, but I think he'll be okay.
He can run, and he got them into field goal range a lot.
I like Devonta Smith.
I
Dallas
think
Goedert
he belongs in a D, but I don't. He can be in a C, and I'm not going to absolutely hate it.
Okay. So I think we have to put him in C, and this is the reason why. Because Justin Fields has to go in D.
Has to go in what?
D.
I was borderline going to put him in a shit, but that's because of the coach. I feel like the coach made things very difficult.
So this is the way I'm looking at it. Kyler is a B, and he's better than Hurts, who is a C, and Hurts is better than Fields. Who is a D. Fields, by the way, was born in Kennesaw. Right down the fucking road. So there's that. We'll cross that road when we get there. Baker Mayfield.
C. I got him in a C.
Yeah, so he also has a ridiculously good running game and just kind of has to manage. And at the end of the year, after they lost OBJ, I mean, what are we talking about in terms of talent? Jarvis Landry and Donovan Peoples-Jones. And Donovan Peoples-Jones looks like a pretty legitimate deep threat. But it's not great. I think
they do have 3 solid tight ends, though.
Harrison Bryant, David Njoku, and
Austin Hooper.
Okay, I hate Austin Hooper with a fucking passion. I drafted him like 3 years in a row, and I always just cut him like the first week. They always think he's going to be like fine, and he sucks. I hate him. Okay. Jimmy Garoppolo. We're not going to talk about Trey Lance. I don't think
Did Jimmy level up this year?
They just got a really good running game and Debo. Debo's just a cheat
And
code.
Kittle.
Yeah.
Do you have him in C? Because like
I would have him.
I feel like
C.
they played well enough for him to be in B, but he's not on the same level.
Oh
as
no. He's not going. No. The thing is these guys in D should be game managers because they don't have the intangibles to be these guys, but they fuck up constantly. Whereas I think like Jimmy Garoppolo consistently plays well enough to win, which in itself is and in a division that has the Cardinals, the Rams, and even the Seahawks could be tough, right? I mean that's just a hard division.
Yes.
So they all made the playoffs, right? Well, not Seahawks, but the other three.
I believe so. Yes.
So, I mean that's got to be a testament to something. I'm not really sure what, but yeah, GBG is not throwing games, and that is what an average quarterback like Tannehill. He's not personally usually. I think there's one game.
Yeah, he's just there. Like I said, they're just there.
Derek Carr can throw games. Jalen Hurts can throw games.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield
did throw a game. Did throw that game.
Tua could, but Jimmy G won't. Okay, but like I think this guy could play up. I'm not sure. I guess he could play up. I don't know if all of them could though. But anyway, he's a C.
Yes. This is a hard one.
I feel like Teddy Bridgewater is almost like Jimmy Garoppolo-like.
But not.
And I think the thing that puts them in D is I think that Denver has sneaky talent. And I think Melvin Gordon needs to go somewhere where he can be utilized properly because he actually had a really nice year if he would have just gotten the touches.
Yeah.
I actually legitimately regretted trading him at one point, but it was just such a question mark with Williams.
They have weapons, though. Like, they have Jerry Jeudy. They have Courtland Sutton, Tim Patrick. They were all solid this year. And Noah Fant's a good tight end. Like
he's actually a pretty big mismatch. They just can't figure out how to get him the ball. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a pretty solid D. It's just that they have the talent, don't really do shit. Teddy Bridgewater, maybe there needs to be a little bit more time to, properly see shit, but I don't know. So is Matthew Stafford an A or a B?
I got a B.
That end of the season was tough.
I think he would have been an A, but I think he got so comfortable this year with just having every weapon imaginable that he was just like, fuck it, they're out there somewhere. And threw a lot more picks than he needed to.
I feel like we're underrating how much Robert Woods played a role. And then he lost, but he kind of started stumbling. But they got OBJ, and I don't know, OBJ is just, he's not really doing like a ton of downfield work anymore, which is weird. And he always had that kind of elite agility and athleticism, and I'm not sure he has it anymore. And speed, I guess, but I don't know. But like he was at the beginning of the year like MVP discussion, right?
Yeah, I agree. But
I don't know.
I think he falls into B.
Also, we have to acknowledge the fact that he is responsible in some part for two of the greatest wide receiver seasons in the history of the NFL.
That is correct.
And Cooper Kupp just be straight popping off like crazy. So it really disturbed me that I took Robert Woods in front of Cooper Kupp. And if I take Cooper Kupp next year, let's mark this right here. This is the almost 49-minute mark of this video. I'm going to draft Cooper Kupp next season. He's going to have a devastating injury. I'm marking it right now. I am the fantasy reaper. Okay, Justin Fields, we talked about him a little bit. Is he a shit or is he D?
I think if Nagy wasn't such a problem this year, he would be a shit. But I don't think Nagy really wanted him. Like, and same thing with Trubisky. Like, they didn't want them there. Like, a report literally came out that said the coach literally threw Trubisky under the bus in front of the whole team, like, about his plays and shit. Like, I think Nagy just didn't like them. And, like...
Did Nagy draft Trubisky, or was that Tressman, or... I don't know, you got a lot of booty
I think Nagy
coaches.
Walked into Trubisky.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton, actually, he loves him some Darnell Mooney, though.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we all, though?
I think Mooney hardcore leveled up this year. That man is going to be good. Then Allen Robinson, they were like, we don't want to play with you anymore.
Also, I had to watch that Justin Fields game against Cleveland, and that was a tough one, man. That's probably the worst game I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yes.
I
think you just put him in D and see what happens next year.
Yeah, moving on to Lamar, I put him in A because he is the single most electric player in the NFL. However, he's one injury away from not being good at all, and he is only a respectable quarterback because he is so dangerous with his feet, which you can't hold against him. But in terms of arm talent, I think he's probably a middle-of-the-road quarterback.
Yes.
Another thing you don't have to do, too, when you're a running quarterback is you don't have to really be as aware of coverages and stuff because you can break things down and break plays and that kind of thing. So he certainly can't read a defense like a Patrick Mahomes or something. But he is in a system where he will be very successful for a long time, I think. And the best thing they did is go all in around Lamar Jackson. So building it in a way that'll work for him, where I don't think Justin Fields has that kind of, or even Jalen Hurts has that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Treatment, I guess. But,
oh boy.
Ben Roethlisberger is the absolute dumpster shit show. He's not fun to watch. He makes everyone around him incredibly irritated. He's also a 2-time rapist. That should be said. So, like, even if he was a shit, he's a worse person. Even I don't care how much they like to talk about Ben Jr. I'm going to call him Benny. And Benny and the Jets. And he's just terrible and should retire. And I know that he was very good at one time and impressive, but his arm is like a noodle. And I don't know why he came back for another year because it was just atrocious.
Just talk about the one play this year where he took 2 steps to the right and just fell over on his own?
I don't want it.
That happened.
I think you talked about it with enough. But yeah, it was not good, man. Oh boy.
Here's another dead quarterback, but a little less dead.
Okay, question. Who's better, Matt Ryan or Carson Wentz? Matt Ryan won MVP once.
I think it's Matt Ryan because one of his receivers literally was like, I don't want to do this anymore, probably because they had nobody else around them. Yeah, like Russell Gage kind of came to be a person at the end of the year, but you're throwing to Zacchaeus.
Yeah. I love me some Zacchaeus.
You're running the ball with a wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner. Mike Davis looked awful.
Yeah. I think he's a C. Matt Ryan, I think Carson Wentz is a D right now. And Carson Wentz is a D because he has Jonathan Taylor. Okay.
And they lost to the Jaguars to lose their chance to go to the playoffs because he looked so bad.
Somebody needs, like, after he dies, they need to get a science team together, get Indianapolis's offensive, staff together when they all die and look into their brains and be like, okay, so why is it that despite the fact you're having a ridiculous amount of success running the football, we're going to throw it 40 more times? Like, I don't get it. And then Carson Wentz just stinks. He just stinks.
It's literally what it was. I can't tell you how many times you saw JT with 100 yards rushing in the first half, and then he gets 13 the rest of the game, and then they're losing. And it's like, what?
I don't understand. I don't understand teams either, and it happens at every level. Specific. Coaches said they don't want him either. Are we talking about Carson Wentz? I don't have a timestamp on that, and I was spacing out. But I don't. So I was saying, like, at Wisconsin, they have a ridiculous running game every single year, but for some reason are totally incapable of utilizing the play-action pass game. Why, when you have such a good running game, don't you just play-action pass, get them to bite in, and just beat them downfield all day long? I don't get it. Well, I wouldn't want Carson Wentz either. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want Justin Fields either, but at least he's young. Who's the wide receiver who leveled up that I'm spacing on right now?
Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah, I feel like he's got like strong Dante Moncrief energy, but just way better. Okay, Mac Jones.
I feel like he was like Tannehill, but with like less weapons.
Yeah, they got a good running game and a good defense. The one thing I will say is, Titans playbooks. You want so we're talking about play action and running. Yeah. See, Pettis got it. Mac Jones, the one thing that should be mentioned is for Halloween one year, he went in blackface, which is fucking not okay.
Not okay. But
No.
at the same time, we're talking football, and this man, I think, is a C, but I think easily could be a B.
Maybe if he had some more weapons. I mean, because what are we talking about right now? We got Jacoby Myers and
He scored his first touchdown ever this year. They had Kendrick Bourne. Hunter Henry
was weirdly leveling
Johnny
up.
Smith.
Where's Nelson Aguilar?
N'Keal Harry, who I think they hate.
Oh, yeah, me too. N'Keal Harry was taken over. Who was it?
It was some big names.
It was like a GOAT wide receiver. Was it Cooper Kupp?
Maybe we could just.
It was Cooper Kupp.
You want to go back and talk about the Eagles taking fucking Jalen Reagor and JJ Arcega-Whiteside? Sorry.
Over. Was there someone over? Or are you just talking about them in general?
Fucking enormous weapons.
Oh.
Like I don't remember who they were, but yeah, it was like the same shit.
Jalen Reagor, at least I could see some upside. I don't know anything. I don't know.
Hate him
I don't know the college profile of JJ Arcega-Whiteside. But I mean, he was Bama bred, right? Jalen Reagor, right?
Maybe.
I believe he was. So I mean, like he comes from a pedigree. I mean, if you look at all the wide receivers who had come from Alabama, and you can expand that to SEC, you expect him to be good. But maybe it just couldn't carve out a role or whatever. Are we thinking a shit or absolute dumpster shit?
Okay. So Urban Meyer played a part, but this was the number one overall pick and probably the most hyped quarterback coming out of college, like in forever.
They literally said he's probably the greatest college prospect since. Oh, over Justin Jefferson. That's not good.
This man threw 12 touchdowns and went like 6 weeks straight without throwing.
Did he throw like 27 interceptions?
It was 12 to 17 ratio.
Where's Reagor from? Oh. Oh, well, he's getting this bread, kind of. I got it. Yeah.
He went from November 28th to January 2nd between throwing a touchdown.
Who do they say he was the best college prospect at quarterback since Peyton Manning, maybe? Something like that. Although, we cannot forget that Peyton Manning also be putting his ass in bitches' faces, too. Which is also not okay. Or like Najee Davenport taking a shit in somebody's laundry. That's Colin's favorite story, I think, because he was a Packer.
Yes. But yes, he had 2 weeks combined with 5 touchdowns, which means in the remaining 15 weeks he had 7.
Yeah. Although Marvin Jones be getting mad targets though.
Yeah, so was Laquan Treadwell.
Laquan Treadwell was a huge prospect out of college though. You got to give him that. Although he didn't do shit with Minnesota.
They didn't do anything with Chenault.
Yeah, and I thought Chenault might have a good season.
Yeah, well.
But also they
also had James Robinson.
What's his name? The running back from Clemson got hurt, right? Like before the first game, like because he told the coach like you gonna need to draft this guy too because I love that guy and he got hurt too, right? What's his name?
I'm not sure.
It's like French. Doesn't matter. Anyway, this will be going up on YouTube. Tell us how we did, or if you disagree with us, or if somebody should go up and down. We were trolling with Aaron Rodgers. Love him as a player, hate him as a person. That's going to wrap it. I'm going to put this up soon. Thanks for being here, Pettis. Appreciate you, especially the way you spell bread. Thank you. Bye.